Obama, I'm voting for any of those four. You're voting for the same thing we have now, and that's what people have got to understand. It's very important that you realize who is pulling the strings and who is funding these people. Okay? And the OWS movement would be fantastic if it moved to the Federal Reserve. And I want to know if any of you out there listening, maybe you're in the chat room, how many of you did not realize that the Federal Reserve is actually a private bank? It's no different than Joe's community bank down the street. It's the same exact thing. It's private. It is not a branch of the government.
They were kicked out of Iceland.
Right.
The Federal Reserve.
Yep. Well,
yeah, Iceland kicked them out because they tried claiming that there was a massive debt that Iceland owed them, and they better pay it up. I'm like, okay, so they did their own audit of the Federal Reserve and found out that like 90% of that debt was nothing to do with anything with Iceland at all. It was the Federal Reserve's debt, so they kicked them out.
Yep. And, you know, and with the OWS, too, you know, there was a recent poll conducted by CBS and the New York Times that reveals 43% of the respondents agree with the aims of the movement. Now, the aims of the movement are absolutely ridiculous. They are blatant socialism. Okay? They're calling for, now get this, think about this a little bit. They're calling for one flat wage of, I believe, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it was $20 an hour for everybody. Okay? And we have a caller.
Hey, hi.
Hi. Let me see if I can get you added in here. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's not what I wanted. I think I just cut Jennifer off. I'm not sure. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Because I'm having issues with trying to get this thing to run. Jennifer, can you hear me? Jennifer? Well, I think I pushed the wrong button. Who do we have here?
We have Debbie.
Oh, hi, Debbie. How are you doing tonight? Are you looking
Great.
to chime in on our thing here?
Yes, I did.
Well, what would you like to say?
About the Iceland thing, I think people need to watch the movie Inside Job. Really depicts on what these companies and what happened there. It was like a test. And once they passed the test, they realized they could do it to us. And it's a very informative documentary on these global powers that be. And it will wake a lot of people up to exactly who is controlling things here as far as globalists. And it's an eye-opener. People should definitely put it on their list to see. There's one actor in it, but the rest are globalists. And it's an eye-opening. It'll open everybody's eyes.
And what was the name of it again?
It's called Inside Job.
Inside Job. Do you know where they can find it?
At their local video store, or, look the link up online. I know most movie stores have it. I believe Netflix has it. It's out there.
Okay. Well, that's great.
And they can ask their local video store if it's something they can get in, but it's a definite. People should be watching it because they'll be stunned when they get done watching it and be talking about it to their friends. And it is definitely that kind of documentary.
Awesome, Debbie. Thank you very much for calling in.
Well, you're very welcome. And good luck with the show.
Thanks. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it. There's a movie that everybody can check out. And, oh, that's not what I wanted. Oops. Yeah, well, okay. I'm new at this Skype telephone, and I've made some mistakes. What can I say? you know, I'm doing what I can here, so just give me 1 second and I will have Jennifer back because, of course, I screwed it up. I fully admit that I made the mistake and I did it all myself. So let me get her back on the line here. Tick-tock. Okay. There we go. Now we're connecting with Jennifer again. Because we lost her when the phone caller called in. So that wasn't good. Is she going to answer?
Brian.
Hi, Jennifer. We got disconnected. Isn't that fun?
I know. I'm surprised it's not clicking on me.
Yeah, well, it happens. You know, hey, we're not perfect. You know?
I did not hit a button if that's what you're saying.
No, I mean the whole thing. We're not perfect. We're just people who are, you know, we're still learning some of this stuff. What can we say?
Are you kidding me? There's too much. There is too much to know.
It is. It's a lot. And I was having trouble getting the caller in and connecting it into a three-way call here. And as soon as I went to do that, it disconnected you. So, yeah, it left you out in La La Land. So we took the caller. And she had a comment about Iceland and was made a recommendation for a movie and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully people will check out that movie. So really cool. But we're back here, and I think, you know, what we need to hit, we only have about 6 minutes left that we can actually chat here. And I think we should go into something really important, censorship.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. There's
All right.
too much, and we're just running out of time, too many details.
I know. It's never enough time to cover. There's so much news. You know, there's so much stuff going on, and there's so much stuff that we need to talk about. And, you know, we do. We need to get to what we can, and the time flies, and there's just never enough time to cover it all. So I think one of the things that might be important, especially since we are an internet-based radio show, I think that we should get into censorship because it's coming. And it's going to be coming really fast at us right now. One of the things, in fact, I just saw comments from David Cameron, Prime Minister over in England, who was talking about they can't leave cyberspace open to criminals and terrorists that threaten our security and our prosperity. So basically, what's being talked about here is shutting things down. You know, the internet kill switch is another aspect. And you know, how many people out there are shocked to hear that they actually have an internet kill switch? And this was, in fact, on the thing I have in front of me here. I'll read it to you. In the United States, the government has used the most phantom cyber threat to call for draconian legislation to control the internet. In January, Senators Joseph Lieberman and Susan Collins renewed their call for the internet kill switch. Now, what the internet kill switch is that they can take at any time and shut off internet access to everyone. Okay? And basically what this means is all they have to do is have an emergency. All right? Now, emergency is not defined. Okay? It's whatever they feel is an emergency. So they could come out with another one of those false flags, which I think next week we'll get into more detail on false flags for everybody. But all they have to do is say, you know, hey, the Pentagon was hacked. So guess what? We have an emergency. And it was a hacking. It was a terrorist. So, whoop, guess what? Internet kill switch. And it's gone. You know, if you like to go over to, excuse me, if you like to go over to Facebook and play the games over there or chat or any of that kind of stuff, guess what? You won't be doing it. It's going to be gone. And that's what all this internet kill switch is about. I mean, they're working on bills right now so that they can kill any type of website that the government feels isn't what they want the people to listen to or see. Have you been running into that? Have you seen a lot of evidence of that, Jennifer?
Personally, actually.
How so personally?
Well, okay, so I was doing some research, and obviously for what we discuss, it's not exactly welcomed, I would say, to the government that we're actually doing this research and pulling up all their little dirty secrets. But what was it? A week ago, maybe a little bit longer. I was doing some searching and had my computer actually shut down. And when I mean it shut down, it literally shut down and would not start back up for 10 minutes. I'm sorry, the computer was 5 minutes. Finally, I got it to turn on, and when I turned it on, my computer is completely wiped. And not like wiped, like I can't turn it on and tools are gone and all that junk. No, like all of my research, all of my pictures, all of my documents, everything was gone. The standard things, like I just bought the computer, that was still there. But here's the worst part, the scariest part. During this time, while the computer was down and was completely erasing all of my stuff, just removing it seems my hard drive, my phone shut off. Now I know that there's packages that you can get that'll link in, of course, your phone service with your internet service. I do not. So, different companies altogether, nothing linked in. So it's something interesting that I couldn't get my phone to turn on. I take my battery pull and wait and hope it got turned on. No, battery pull number 2. So just a little personal one on that one. Of course, I'm not really sure, but I'll tell you, it's a slight bit of a coincidence to have that happen all at once.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm looking for it, but they've been pulling YouTube videos. In fact, Google just released their transparency report, and in that transparency report, they are reporting that even one of the videos was requested by the federal government to be taken down because of being negative toward government. Yeah.
This is why we're recording.
Well,
get a recording program, record them to a disk.
And you know what? We have here's the sad thing. I'll read this right off the report. In the U.S., Google received 757 takedown requests across its sites and services, up 70% from the second half of last year. Okay. U.S. authorities also called for the removal of 113 videos from YouTube, including several documenting alleged police brutality, which Google refused to take down. They at least stood behind that. But, anything that the government feels is not what the government wants you to know. That's why if you compare legitimate, non-mainstream media, like, for example, Infowars.com is a great source of a lot of news. Drudge Report is a great source of a lot of news that's real. Now, if you compare what you see on these sites that actually tell you the truth of what's going on out there, then, you compare it to mainstream media, the two don't compare. But you know what? We are completely out of time. We are completely out of time. I apologize for running. I've been kind of long-winded, but I guess a lot of these subjects have really gotten to me lately. So I'm just going to have to cut it here and say, everybody tune in next week. We're going to have a lot more stuff for you, and we'll have the call thing figured out. And until next week, Jennifer, we'll see you then. See everybody next week.
Good night.
Fine, ladies and gentlemen.
Obsolete.
Obsolete. Obsolete. Obsolete. I concur. Romney Wordsworth, step forward. Board finds you obsolete. Your rights are as follows, Mr. Wordsworth. You are to be liquidated within a period of 48 hours, but you have an option as to method and precise time.